It's been a month or so and I haven't switched back from the LG V60 to an iPhone. Let's discuss. If you've followed my channel for any amount of time, you'll know that I've always had kind of a soft spot for the LG V series phones. At first it was just really unique design and additional functionality, had a secondary screen as well as the improved analog audio experience. If you followed my channel, you'll also know that I kind of have had a love-hate relationship with Apple. I've been an Apple user for 30 years and I'm really comfortable in the Apple ecosystem. Over the years, they've made some decisions that have pushed me away, but most of the time, I still come back. I've documented some of that on the channel. One of the biggest breaking points for me was the removal of the headphone jack on the iPhone 7. Now, I could make an entire video about why that was a mistake and what motives drove Apple to make the decision and all that kind of stuff. Spoiler alert, it wasn't courage. In the time that I've been using my V60, I've realized how many times over the course of a week I actually go in and have to listen to something critically, trust what my ears are hearing, and you just can't do that with Bluetooth headphones, whether it's listening to a new recording or a remastered recording or something that I recorded or something that someone sent me that they recorded, audio mixes for podcast videos, all kinds of stuff, mission critical listening situations, and you can't really trust Bluetooth headphones to get you what you need in that situation. And the fact that LG has not marketed this phone to hi-fi / audiophile enthusiasts just doesn't make any sense to me. It's the best phone for audio on the market, period, end of sentence, no more discussion necessary. But even though I love and need this headphone jack, I haven't always kept the V series phones in my pocket as my #1 phone after a month or so. I always go back to an iPhone as my main phone. And yes, I'm locked into the ecosystem and all that kind of stuff. It offers a lot of features that you can't really replicate on an Android device, but most of the time, the Android phone I'm using just annoys me after a while. Android is an incredibly powerful platform, but because each version of Android in each phone is slightly different because of the manufacturer's way they use Android, it's hard to get the level of depth that, of integration in the hardware with the operating system. As my career as a tech reviewer has progressed, I've started doing what a lot of tech reviewers do. I carry two phones. An iPhone, which usually has my SIM in it, and an Android phone that I'm typically reviewing. Once that review period is over, though, the SIM goes back to the iPhone, and sometimes I switch to an Android phone in between just for a different flavor, but the iPhone is typically my main device. But that is coming to an end, at least for the moment, with the LG V60. I've had it for a solid month, maybe a little more now, and I haven't been tempted to take my SIM out. There are a lot of things about the V60 that have kept me hooked. Now, it's not a perfect phone, and I'm going to get into some of the things that are not perfect about it, but let's talk about a few things that really have kept me using it first. Of course, the dual screen is one. And the fact that it's removable, you can just take it off. No other phone out there has anything quite like this, except for other LG phones, and it's better to have it than to not have it. Next, battery life. The V60 has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery inside, and it's the only Android phone that I've used that has rivaled the battery life of the more recent iPhones, the iPhone 11 series. I typically get 2 days out of this thing consistently. I only charge every couple of days. And that's incredible. Another is some more audio features, audio switching features, like from multiple Bluetooth devices at once, swapping back and forth between a set of Bluetooth speakers like I have here on my desk, or a set of headphones, or vice versa, or whatever. So when I'm connected to a wireless speaker here in the house and I need to switch back to the speakers on the device or something like that, I just pull down this notification shade and I can switch. It's just like 2 presses of a button. And I know this is an Android feature that it's an Android feature, but the way that they've implemented it here with the LG phones is probably the easiest and best way that I've used to this point. It's much better than digging around in the settings, going to the settings app, digging into the Bluetooth, going to the device that you want to turn off or turn on, and all that kind of stuff that you have to do with the iPhone. So now finally, I mean, I'm gonna come back and mention the headphone jack. It takes a little time to understand how to get the best out of the quad DAC, but once you do and you plug in a really nice set of headphones, and you don't have to spend a lot to get a really nice set of headphones, the experience is so much better than listening without the DAC engaged. And it's not just audiophiles or hi-fi enthusiasts that can hear the difference. The difference is immediate and apparent and really, really good. Pretty much any layperson could hear it, I guarantee it. Whether or not you care is a different issue, but if you do care, or you think you might care, or if you're somebody like me, it's hard to listen to anything but wired headphones for music with the quad DAC once you've gone there. Again, I'm planning a full video on the ins and outs of the audio for the V60, so be sure to subscribe, bell notify yourself so you know when that video is coming. It's coming soon, I'm working on it. There's actually one more feature that really makes the V60 compelling, but I'm going to save that feature for the end of the video. Not all is perfect though. I mean, the V60 screen here is a vibrant looking, really nice looking OLED screen, but it's only 1080p. Other flagship phones, of course, are higher resolution than that. And there also is just a 60 hertz panel where other phones have moved to 90 or 120 hertz, which gives the impression of smoother movement on the screen. It's the hot feature right now. LG left it out. I guess if I were to guess, I'd say to conserve battery with the dual screen, maybe to be able to match the screens together so that they didn't look different when you use them. But I can just say that I haven't really had any FOMO when it comes to not having a higher refresh rate screen, and I can't really see the difference in 1440p versus 1080p in a screen this size. The dual screen is super cool, and it does raise the game of the phone considerably, particularly when you're gaming and you use the main screen as a controller, and the secondary screen has the game on it, so your fingers aren't in the way while you're trying to play. I mean, the problem is in the implementation of some of the features. There are some apps like YouTube and others that can take advantage of the dual screen all the way across and extend across both screens, but they do it in this horizontal way. So there's a huge gap in the middle of the app while you're trying to use it. It's impossible really to use the content that way, so I never use that feature. It's great to have two apps open at once. You can have YouTube and you can have something else open all at the same time. I use this all the time. You want Twitter, you want Instagram, you want to be dual social media-ing it, then you can. Now finally, the last thing that really annoys me is the security features on the LG V60. They're just annoying. There's no face unlock. They have an under-the-screen fingerprint reader, and I haven't found it to be super fast or reliable, which leaves you with a pin or with a pattern, and I mean, what is this, 2012? I ran this phone with no security for a little while, and it was great. I barely leave the house, so I don't really need to lock my phone all the time. But a couple of weeks ago, I put the fingerprint unlock back on just so I could test it and see if I got used to it, see if it got better. Long story short, no. I mean, some people love under-the-screen fingerprint readers. I have never used one that I like. So your mileage may vary, but that's my experience. In any other phone, a lot of these shortcomings would be complete deal breakers, where I'd just be like, oh, I can get all of these features on some other phone. But in the case of the V60, for me, maybe for the first time, I find myself looking past some pretty significant flaws because of what the phone does significantly well. It does better than any other phone out there. The audio alone is enough. That's a thing. The V series is known for that. The cameras, also very good. The V series has always had good cameras. LG's revamped UI is nowhere near as bad as it was even a year ago. So I've found it nice to use. I don't have a problem with it. The dual screen, even with its quirks, is a better thing to have on your phone than to not. And the fact that you can take it off and carry around the phone how it suits you is the perfect compromise in a world where foldable phones are kind of like an all or nothing thing. And this is where I get to that cherry on top feature that I promised before. The LG V60, the phone by itself is $800. The dual screen accessory is an additional $100, which balloons the price out to a cool $900. It's by far the best value available in smartphones today. Phones that cost $400, $500 more may have more features, may have different features, maybe a little bit more sexy or stylish, maybe a little bit more polished, I don't know. But a phone with everything the V60 has for under $1,000 is crazy town in 2020. It's almost impossible to find. So yeah, I usually go back to an iPhone around this time, but for now, I'm sticking with the V60. It's just got too many features that no other phone has, and its overall performance is on par with all the other Android flagships. I just don't want to do without what is not offered by any other phone. Yeah, there's an iPhone close by most times, and I'm testing out iOS 14 right now and all that, but the V60 is still on my nightstand. It's still my daily driver after 1 month, and that is probably the best recommendation I can give for any phone. It hasn't made me go back to the iPhone yet. What do you think? Have you tried the V60? Are you interested in the V60? Let me know down in the comments what you feel about these phones. Is the dual screen something that should stick around? Let's discuss down in the comments below. We'll have a boisterous discussion. And again, like, subscribe, bell, notify if you want to see those new videos that are coming up soon. I've got some other videos down here along the bottom that are going to pop up for you to go watch that are somehow related to this, so go check those out as well. Once again, my name's Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out.